we're happily divorced because I like him so much better. I tell him all the time, I'm like, I like you so much better being your friend. I thought that it would be harder dealing with him on this level, but he has really surprised me and stepped up to the plate as far as being a team player in co-parenting after divorce. So I have to give him, that credit. And I've always been very easy. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, we gotta have on this specific date and you get this and we get this and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't serve the children well. That doesn't serve anybody well, trying to be so strict and stringent and we got to stick to this specific schedule. I know people that do that, and it's very hard on them and it's very hard on the children. And so for us, we work with each other and just we just go with the flow. They live with me. I'm the primary, their primary caretaker. I'm their mother, and he travels a lot. So I make it very easy and I'm very accommodating to him. So if he calls and he's flying into the airport and I don't live too far and he wants to come by and just hang out for a little while, hey, come by and hang out and see the kids. He could pop by my house and do that. If he wants to come by and grab them and pick them up and take them with him for a few days, hey, okay, they can go. It's not we're very respectful of each other's schedules, of each other's times, and it just works for us. There is no set schedule. They got to be with you this many days. They got to be with me this many days. They got to go here and here and here. Like we're cutting the kids in half and trying to share them evenly. I mean, that just doesn't work. We ask them what they want to do. You want to go over to Daddy's house this week? Do you want to go hang out? Dad's home. When they want to go, they go. If he wants to come pick them up, he comes and picks them up. He just called me out the blue. I was in New York and he calls and he says, hey, I think I'm gonna get the girls in, take them to Vegas for a few days. I'm like, oh, cool. That'll be fun. So he does that. So it's very easy with us, and it's just been very easy and simple and an easy transition for us for whatever reason. The marriage was hard. The divorce and aftermath has been easier than I thought it would be. Literally, I mean, if you want to look at me literally and say, are you black? I mean, I guess that depends on who you're talking to. Some people say, well, no, she's not a black woman. She's mixed, which is true. I am. But I also am black, but I also am European, and I also am Indian. So I'm all of those things. So I don't, for me, I don't have a problem with, I really don't have a problem with somebody African-American looking at me and saying, well, but you're not really black. Okay, if that's what you feel and think, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, but I tend to kind of not have a problem with a lot of things that people think. I let people think and feel whatever it is that they want to feel. I didn't grow up with the mixed kid issues. Mixed kid issues. So I know a lot of mixed children that grew up with issues with identity, with not knowing who they were, with feeling they didn't belong one place or the other. And that's not my experience. So I grew up very sure of who I was. I grew up feeling a little more connected to the African American community than other communities. My mother was black. I was raised by a black woman, and I spent the majority of my life, raised in the African American community. So I very much grew up feeling like a black woman. I was fight the power in school. We doing sit-ins. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, going to school, graduated in 91. So, it was that time was a lot of social change going on then. And so I remember having sit-ins at school and to make sure that we had Black History Month celebrated at school and things like that. So that's how I grew up, very connected. I've really never had people coming and saying, you're not black enough to speak on black issues, or you're not, you're mixed, you're not really black, whatever, except the lady in the store who said I didn't look black. But it's just hasn't been my experience. I don't know if it's because I really came up in the African American community and so closely identify with it and have a black mother, or for what reason, but I've just, some people come on my page and like, oh, beautiful black queen, and you're a black this, you look at me as a black woman. Other people look at me as something other than, and I'm fine with either, because I'm really fine with who I am, and I really am a collective combination of all those things, but I don't think it makes me any less qualified to stand up and fight for issues for my people, because they are still my people. These are my mother's people, my mother's ancestors, who is a part of me. To take someone that authentically feels Black and connected to the Black community, and because they have mixed heritage, that they don't have a space or a voice to be able to speak out on issues is absolutely negligent for someone to do. Because I mean, we look at the president. I mean, we call him Black. Well, his mother's white. So, but we don't look at him, you know, people typically don't look at him and say, well, you know, he ain't Black, he can't speak on Black issues because he's not Black, but he has a Black man experience. So, you know, it's just kind of, it's hard because everyone's experience is different. I don't know what it feels like to be hated or talked down to or looked down upon because of the color of my skin, because I'm to be dark skinned, but I had a beautiful chocolate mother who did know how that felt. I have ancestors that knew how that felt. So I may not be able to speak to how that feels, but I will absolutely always bring it to light. I will absolutely always fight for my people, because they are my people. Even though I remember one time, the first time that I realized that, oh, you don't look like 100% Black woman though, because I felt like it, but I think I was about 16 and in a store, and my friends and I, we were shopping, and the lady kept following us around. Why you keep following us around? Like, you following us around because we Black? Like, what are you doing? She's like, this little white lady looks at me and she says, I didn't even know you were Black. You don't look Black to me. And I was like, oh, dang. Like, it made me think, like, do I not look Black? So that was kind of like a turning point for me, because I always felt like a Black woman.